Sounds good. I just woke up like 30 minutes ago, so I'm about to start my laundry. So I'm gonna put my beats on and listen. But
Okay.
like I might not be able to answer for like a few minutes when I go to like I'm walking my laundry to this building that's next to my house.
All good, brother. All good. Okay. Let's see here. So I'm going to move these to there. Oops. Now, I'm going to share my screen. Do-do-do-do-do. We're doing it live. Okay. So, hello, YouTube. Today's symposium is on embracing extremes. And we're going to cover a few different things. We're going to cover some billionaire mindsets. And we're also going to cover, really what this symposium is about is how, like, you have all these natural desires in you that are conflicting all of the time. And sometimes what your brain really, really wants is it just wants to be extreme. And, like, the reason you feel anxious and the reason that you're, like, tweaking out is because you're not allowing yourself, you're not giving yourself the permission to go all out. And this could be through work. It could also be chilling out. Like, if you are trying to chill and then worried and thinking about work, that's not helpful. And if you are trying to work and then thinking like, oh my gosh, I just want to chill, that's not helpful. And so we kind of, while most of the time this isn't actually like good advice, like being extreme is generally not so good. When it comes to productivity and work and like having a fulfilling, productive life, it absolutely is important to just be extreme. Where it's like, today, I am going to completely just lock in and focus. And like, I have one goal, I have one thing that I'm going to focus on, that's it. And focus is power. That's what productivity is. The more you focus, the more you get. But, and then on the flip side is like, if you need a break, don't be trying to work when you need a break and actually be taking a break. But a lot of people, we mix these two up. And so I'm going to talk about these two different forms of anxiety. So when it comes to productivity, there are two forms of anxiety. Form number one is what we would call overwhelm, where you are basically stressing out, freaking out. Oh my gosh, I have so much to do. There's so much work. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And you're like not happy. You're tweaking out and you're anxious. You're like going to have like a panic attack before you go do the thing. And that's obviously not helpful. And then the second form of anxiety, which a lot of people will actually mistake for the first one. Like, we'll have symptoms of the second form and think that it's the first one. We think we're overwhelmed. We think we're tripping out because there's too much to do. And what will happen is, well, here, let me explain it first. So, getting ahead of myself. But so this second form of anxiety is more like your brain and your body and your heart, all in tandem, are just like, oh my gosh, I need to get more done. And like, that's what you really want, is you just want to get more done. You want like everything in the world to like get the hell out of your way, and you just want to like trudge forth and have like a 6-hour deep work session when you're like blasting Brain FM, like high entrainment, and you're just intense, just working. Like, that's what you really want. But since a lot of people aren't even at this level, since they don't actually know how to do this, it just leads to like all this like pent up energy and anxiety, and you're like, what do I do? And I find for me this happens in the morning. Like, if I try and have like a chill morning, it just doesn't really work. And so I'm not going to do that anymore. Where I'm sort of finding like in the morning I just need more stimulation, and so I need to like load up on some stimulation and then just get to work and like lock in for a few hours and like be intense. So this is like the other form of anxiety. And like I said, like, people will, if you have never unlocked this, then you will have this and you will ascribe it to this. Like, you will think that type 2 is type 1. You will think you are overwhelmed when you actually just need to be doing stuff. And if you just did stuff, you would feel okay. And so, and like, you're your heart knows. Your heart knows sometimes. If it's like you haven't made any progress in like a week, or it's like you set out to do things and a bunch of things interrupted you, or like any reason, like your brain actually just needs productivity to be healthy. It actually just needs to be doing stuff and making progress. That's how you're going to feel better about yourself. Like a lot of people say like, "Oh, don't tie what is it? Like your identity and like self-worth and all that to like metrics like money or status or things like that of that nature." But like realistically that's difficult, and that's also there for a reason. Like you can like in general, if you had more money, if you had more status, if you and we'll actually take that out of the equation because that's not what you really want. When you want money and status, what you really want is like other people's approval. That's what you're really looking for. You're either looking for freedom or other people's approval. And so and oftentimes it's your approval is what you really want. You actually just want to feel comfortable in your own skin, where you have set the standard for yourself, and if you don't meet it, you're not going to feel okay. And so like obviously you need to be more accepting. Like that's great advice, awesome. But you cannot just like unless you're going to go on like this entire spiritual journey, which I mean maybe you are, maybe you're on that. That's awesome. Good job. Like maybe you have that, but realistically, if you did more and had more in your life, like let's say you had more money and you felt more secure and you like had more things you wanted, you wouldn't feel as bad. Like we try and like I don't know, it's weird. We try and like tiptoe around it and say like, "Oh, that's like greedy. Oh, that's like selfish. Oh, that's," and it's not. It's just like how it is. If you had more, if you had what you really wanted, if your life was in alignment with what you really wanted, if it was really in line with your desires, you would feel better. You'd feel a lot better, right? And so sometimes your brain knows that and it's just like, dude, just do the damn work. Like that's what it's telling you. Like, get to work, man. And then other times, you actually are anxious and you are overwhelmed and it is too much and you need to take a break. But when you have focus, when you have intensity, when you have like a choice where it's like, this is what I'm doing and nothing is going to stop me from doing this. This is what I'm doing. That gives your brain security. And your brain loves security. Like the reason you tweak out a lot of the times is because your brain doesn't have security. It doesn't know what's going to happen next. It's worried. It's trying to spend energy thinking about, okay, how am I going to avoid this? How am I going to do this? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And it's like really what you need, or like one of the things that would help you a lot is just being more specific, intentional, and intense. Where it's like, okay, brain, right now we are going to work for the next 4 hours. Like we're starting the Pomodoro timer. We've got the rain sounds on in the background. Which, oops, I forgot. I was supposed to turn that off. Anyways, so where was I? Sometimes like you just need to be like doing the work. And then other times you need to be unapologetically resting. And I know so many of you have this problem where you are not unapologetically resting. You rest and you feel guilty because you feel like you didn't do enough. And the reason that you didn't do enough is honestly because you were holding yourself back. Like that's the truth that like a lot of people are unfortunately with. It's like there's something in us where we hold ourselves back. Like we're not like actually giving ourselves permission to just like lock in and work for like 6 hours because we think like, oh, that's crazy. I can't just sit here and like do this, or I have to like stand up during my break. And then it's like, oh, I got enough done. You know, there's like that little voice like, oh, I got enough done. And it's like, that's not what you want. What that is that's resistance. And resistance thrives off of unawareness. And so the way that you slay resistance is by just becoming more aware of resistance, which what that's actually doing in your mind. And resistance is just anything that stops you from achieving your goal. And it is the little voice that's always going to try and pull you out of work. But it's awareness does not care about what you really want. Awareness is just like the I'm gonna reach for like the lowest hanging fruit, like the quickest, easiest way out. It's like the part of yourself that doesn't want to change, because if it changes, it dies. And so it's like this mechanism that's trying to keep you stuck in place. And it doesn't care about what you really want. It's just like this tiny sliver fraction of your personality that's trying to control you. And what you really want and how you actually slay resistance is by getting in connection and evaluating costs. Because what that does is that wakes up your ACC, which is your anterior cingulate cortex. And when that thing wakes up, it's like the fire alarm that wakes up your, that's a bell. It's supposed to be a bell. Your dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, which is like the CEO of your brain. And when the CEO of your brain wakes up, it's the part of your brain that's made for work. Resistance just stops you from getting there. Like, that's all it is. It's just like a little road bump, a little block in the way. Once you wake this guy up, you are now in the part of your brain where it's natural to be working. And so resistance just, like, the CEO looks at resistance and is like, what do you mean? No, I'm not going to go play video games for 2 hours. Like, get the hell out of my way. You know? Like, as soon as you wake this guy up, that's what happens. And so the way that you do that is you just evaluate the costs. Like, okay, what do I really want right now? What do I really want? Become more aware and mindful of your internal state. What do I really want? Do I really want to chill out, or do I really want to work more? And then evaluate the costs. And when you do that, the strategist is going to kick in, and he's really good at cutting things out. Like, that's what this part of your brain is really good at, is picking things, focusing. And so you do this, you're going to find focus. You're going to figure out what you should actually be doing. And the strategist is going to be the part of you that has the strength to make a commitment. Like, okay, we're going to do 4 hours of deep work, and then we're going to see how we feel after that. Or it's like, okay, we're going to rest for the rest of the day. Like, I've done enough. I feel okay. I'm okay with what I've accomplished today. So I'm going to take a chill pill, you know? And that will help you to be more intense. And the way I'd put all of this is like what you need to do, like a kind of a mantra you need to have is like work hard, play hard, rest hard. Literally, just do everything at an intensity and with a high level of intentionality. If you are resting, and let's say you're an introvert, right? Like, let's say you're an introvert and your family keeps bugging you. They're like, hey, like, hang out with us. Hey, we're going to do this. Hey, we're going to do this. Hey, we're going to do this. It's like, obviously you need to spend time with your family. Obviously you need to hang out with your family, but maybe you need to make that more intentional so your brain stops freaking out about it. Where it's like, this is basically disrupting your rest. And so then you go into work kind of anxious and bugged out. And where it's like, okay, maybe the family needs like a specific day dedicated to them. Where it's like, guys, I'm locked in most of the time, but on this day I'm free, I'm available. Let's go hang out. Let's go, like, go do stuff, you know? And that is what I call super scheduling, where it's like you're trying to basically, and I kind of teach people to have like a more loose and flexible schedule. I think a schedule should be a guideline, not a like mean boss that's like telling you what to do. And I think that if you do that, like, life is too varied for that to work anyway. So that's always going to fail. It's always going to crash and burn. You're always going to break free from the schedule, and then you're going to feel bad if you have the expectation of like, oh, this is the schedule and I'm supposed to be following it. It's like, no, it's just a guideline. And you can even make it really general, where it's like, I generally work in the morning until I feel like I've done enough work. Like, that's a really good scheduling rule. Or whenever you have your energy. And so, but that's super scheduling. And like, what you can do like in a day is by making this more intense and by making trade-offs with other days. So what that actually looks like is, let's say you do a good amount of work, and then you hit lunch, and then your energy kind of tanks. And then from there, it's like, oh, okay, my energy's tanking. I really don't feel like working anymore. If I try and do anything big, I notice like I'm getting emotional. And so it's like, well, don't try and be working during that time. If it's not a good time for you to work, don't work. And then other times it's like, again, I'm going to use the example of the morning. Like if you're in the morning and it's like you have a lot of energy, you're noticing like this anxiety bubbling up and it's like, oh man, what am I doing? And you're like trying to like do this like weird, elongated morning routine ritual thing. And it's like your brain doesn't care. It's like, dude, just go do the needle mover. Like go work on the thing. Then go do that. Like you can take a shower and brush your teeth and all that stuff after. Like it's fine. You can put it off for a few hours. It's okay. No, you need to give yourself permission to be extreme. Like that's really what this is about. You need to give yourself permission to be extreme. Because that gives your brain security. And when your brain has security, your brain is happy. It's like, oh, everything's going to get done. Like all of my needs are going to get met. That's what you're telling your brain. It's okay. All of your needs are going to get met and not in a half-assed way, right? Your brain loves that. That's like writing a little love letter to your brain. And so you're going to feel a lot better. But sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. So super scheduling. So let's say like this is the reality of the situation most times, where it's like, oh, you cut off and then let's say like after this like struggling point of you trying to get work done, you want to spend time with your family, but because you didn't do stuff here, your brain is like tweaking out and it's like, I didn't do enough. Like, what am I going to do? Now now I want to go spend time with my family. Now I want to go do X, Y, Z. I want to have alone time, but I have to work because I like missed out on this area where you probably shouldn't have been working, but you were like doing this like really poor job of working, right? And so then you're like staying late, pulling extra hours, doing more than you need to try and overcompensate and catch up. And it's like, oh my gosh, you just worked the whole day. Like you missed your alone time. You're tweaking out the whole day. You barely got anything done because you had no focus, right? And it's just a really bad combo. It's a really, really bad combo. But then like what you could do instead, and here's the super scheduling, is like, okay, I know that at lunch I kind of tank out, right? Like I like mentally clock out. And then for whatever reason, let's say at around like 9 p.m., I get a random burst of energy, right? But that's like when I'm supposed to be like winding down and like chilling with my family and like chilling, you know? But it's like that's not what your brain wants during that time, right? Like that's kind of the problem is like you try and live your life in a way where you're not necessarily focusing on your needs. Like your ACC isn't activating. You're not looking at, okay, what do I really need? What do I really want right now? You need to live in line with your desire if you want more dopamine in your life. And dopamine is the doing chemical. The more dopamine you have, the more you're going to do. The happier you're going to be because dopamine's also the happiness chemical. People who are really disciplined, discipline doesn't work without dopamine. You need dopamine there. Like the reason that there are people out there who can be extremely disciplined is because they love discipline. That's how it works. But you could just cut out the discipline, like cut out the suffering and pushing yourself part, and just align yourself with your energy level and what your brain actually wants. Where it's like, sorry, I keep getting sidetracked here. But so for example, like a better way of doing this would be like if you have this energy in the morning, so you do that, you hit lunch, and then you decide, okay, you know what? I'm not going to do anything until that random burst of energy that I always get at the same time later, right? And then once that happens, you work, and you work late into the night. And maybe it's like 2 a.m. when you go to sleep. That's fine. Unless you like have certain sleep needs, and then this becomes a little more difficult and nuanced there. But you could do that, and then just like communicate that with everybody. Like that's what you're doing. And you do that for maybe like 2 or 3 days. And then for the next few days, you have the same thing, like you have that burst of energy, but because you overcompensated at a time when your brain actually wanted to do it, now you can just say, oh, it's lunchtime. I'm just going to clock out. Like I'm just done. Like that's it. That's the whole day. That's a wrap. And then you dedicate the rest of your day to rest. And you see how this is like what you did is you made a trade-off. You quit trying to do it all in one day and you quit trying to have rest and work in the same day. And you just made it like today is a work day or today is a rest day. And you still have both. Like you still have both, but you made it more intense. You made it more intentional. You made it so it's not switching up on you as often. And that makes you very happy. Your brain likes that. If it's aligned with what you actually need. Because sometimes you'll get into this rest point and you'll realize, like, no, I actually don't want to rest. Like, what I want to do is, like, jump back in. And so it takes skill. It takes skill. It takes experimentation and iteration. Your schedule's not going to be perfect right off the bat. It's something that you build over your life that changes and grows with you, right? But that's super scheduling, basically trading with the future. Like, okay, future me, I know that at this time, you're more likely to do a lot of work. So I'm going to make arrangements for you where you can do that, even if it's like socially weird, where it's like, what are you doing working until like 2 a.m.? Or like, what do you do? But then you can make time for more intentional rest later, or vice versa. Like you add intentional rest so you have more time for intentional work, right? It just kind of depends on where you are. If you get more overwhelmed, then maybe that's what you need at first. But let's see here. And like, if you're a man specifically, this is like important to you. Like the thing about guys is we basically like we want to die in a war. Like that's what we want. We want things to be intense. We want to have like the will of power. We want to like embody the warrior archetype and just go nuts. Like we want to go crazy. We want to die in a war. And you like that is just a natural part of you as a guy. Like it's just there. You're not going to get rid of it. You can't like I don't know, like explore it and think and like do all these like journaling things to try and understand it. It's like you just have to act. You have to act. Like as a guy, like you have this in your heart and your head and in your freaking testosterone. Like you just need to act sometimes. You need to do stuff. And so you need to let that be what it is because it's healthy. It's healthy when you align yourself with that. If your brain is telling you, like, I'm full of energy, I need to just be physically active right now. Like maybe that means you just need to run. You just need to go for a run. Maybe it's literally just like a few times around your house, right? Maybe it's not even like a full actual run if you're not trying to get like fit right now. But shoot, man, you gotta align with this sort of like intensity that naturally lives in you. And in modern society, we have become so bad at like bottling it up. We basically let other people decide what is and is not okay for us. And it's like, you can't live like that because you're not free. You're not free. And the reason you're anxious and you're tweaking out, and you're freaking out is because your brain is like rattling the bars of its cage. Like, I'm not free. You're not letting me be myself. You're not letting me do what I'm doing. And obviously you're going to like feel bad if that's what you're doing, if that's what's going on. Right. And so the way you can kind of think about this is it's like there is a time to unleash. And really, it could be different things. Like maybe it's like the time to unleash is like, I'm just deciding, like making it intentional that I'm about to do like a 3-day video game binge where it's like, I'm just going to like play games all damn day. And they're going to be like strategy games or they're going to be like this type of game, like whatever it is, like work hard, play hard, rest hard. Like that's what you need. That's what you need to do. And this can apply over a longer period of time. Like maybe it's that you're kind of in a season of like self-exploration where it's like you're trying to figure yourself out. You're on a spiritual journey. You're not trying to do so much laborious, arduous, deep work. You're kind of chill. You're kind of more exploratory. Like maybe that's the season you're in. Let that be the season. Like quit trying to like build a business or something if that's the season, Actually, building a business is something if you're building a business, you kind of have to do it like all the time, unfortunately. So, but like make more intentional
I have a
time.
question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So my question would be like, so for me, I said like right now I'm in college, and I'm trying to like I've been planning out my hitchhiking journey, and I'm like I work a lot on this, and it's kind of like my mental escape because that's what I want to do in the future. Like after the semester, I'm pretty sure I'm going to leave. But then it can kind of bring this anxiety to me about like I'm not doing enough for this goal, because I'm having this rigid schedule of college, and it can be kind of overwhelming, which then I'm like, should I be less focused on trying to build this while I'm here and then more focused on it while I'm gone? Like, I'm still gonna start to build and plan while I'm here, but like I've just been like trying to really hound it while I'm here on top of all this other shit. Though I'm not gonna lie, my schoolwork is pretty easy. I get all that shit done, so that's not really um much of an issue, but it's just, I don't know, trying to figure out how to balance the college schedule on top of trying to plan out this future endeavor that I have. And I feel like I probably could make a good schedule, like you're talking about, like the super schedule, if I wasn't in college. But like in being in college, where my schedule is very rigid, and it's I got to be here this day at this time. Boom, 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 boom. It can bring that anxiety.
Yeah, dude. Absolutely. And so what I would say to you is like, yeah, maybe you are in a season where you need more focus on college. Like maybe it's kind of oppressive, possessive, and like overarching. And so maybe you don't spend so much time on this. And it doesn't mean you can't do it. It's just trying to create more intentionality and focus so that your brain feels more secure. Like maybe it's just not the time yet. Maybe and what I tell people is like you have this sort of like board of directors in your head, and you're like the chairman. And all these little directors in your head, they're like different aspects of your personality. They all want different things, and they're basically like trying to be diplomatic at the table most of the time. For a lot of people, they're just arguing all the time. Um, and it's kind of your job to oversee them and be like, hey, quit fighting. But if one of these guys is not having his needs met for a long enough period of time, what will happen is he will revolt. He'll like get up on the table and like scream and shout at you and start bullying all the other people at the table. And so maybe this for you, like there's a part of your personality, an aspect of you that needs this. And so what you need to do is you need to find some way to like scratch that itch where it's like, oh, I'm just going to like ideate, write some notes down, play with it, watch some videos. And maybe that doesn't take that long. And like that's enough to scratch the itch of this guy. It's like you didn't really do anything, but you kind of like made it seem like you were going to do something. And so your brain is like, oh, okay, cool. He's still doing that. He's still doing that, you know? Um, and then have the intentionality of like, oh, like maybe when the semester is over, I'm going to like focus on this much more intensely and I'm going to like take a lot of action towards it. That would be my suggestion, honestly.
I appreciate it. That was a really good explanation.
Yeah, man. And sometimes sometimes you have these guys where it's like they're asleep for years and then they will suddenly just like wake up. Where it's like the dream that you killed when you were like, I don't know, the dream you killed when you were 10 of like being an astronaut, where it's like you made like an executive decision, like, I don't think that I can live that life, like the life that actually requires me to do that. Like maybe that'll like rear its head one day and be like, like I was supposed to be an astronaut. And it's like just dumb. And so you just got to be like, okay, bro, we're going to watch some space videos. We're going to watch some like astronaut talking. We're going to like read some newspaper articles. And then that kind of like persuades it to be like, okay, cool. That was something I was interested in. Thank you. You know? So yeah, the board of directors, you got to feed them all and like manage them. And this is kind of what you're doing. Like this is the job of your ACC. And again, when you turn on your ACC, it wakes up your CEO. And when your CEO wakes up, resistance literally just dies. Like whatever feeling or thing that was in your way that you were telling yourself, oh, I gotta wait on somebody else. Oh, I gotta do that next time. Or oh, I don't really feel like it. I kind of just want to like play the game. It's like then the CEO just like wakes up and he's like, hell no, get the hell out of my way, because you're in the working mode of your brain. And so then the thing that you actually want, like your deeper desire, becomes easier to align with. So, and there was something else I wanted to say. Oh yeah, I said that we were going to talk about some billionaire mindsets. And so there are two things, and I really don't I mean, I'll just say it like everybody says it. I don't agree with everything that Elon does or like the way he is. I do kind of look up to him in a lot of ways, but like the type of productivity I teach is almost like very, very opposite to what he teaches, where it's like be more holistic, be more in touch with your desire, like get more of what you want out of life instead of stressing yourself out. Whereas he is like push through burnout and just like keep going and like never stop working and work like sleep in the office and like just don't stop, be more intense, right? Like those are two very different types of things. But I will say he does have this on lock where it's like he will have intense gaming sessions where it's like he just plays strategy games for like multiple days in a row, just like monster energy drink like through the night, just playing strategy games, like just intense, like actually crazy. And then he'll just go to like resting or like back to work. Um, and that's good. Like your brain likes that. And the something he always says, kind of like a motto that he has that I'm trying to pick up myself, and I recommend you do as well, is be hardcore. And my friend, I told him about this the other day, and he so elegantly simplified it to just be hard. Maybe not in public, but the another billionaire kind of mindset or kind of mantra that you can have that allows you to like align with your deeper desire more securely and more intensely in the way that your brain really, really likes is the term gratidem ferociter, which is Bezos' thing that he says. That's I think that's like the motto of Blue Origin, and it means step by step ferociously. And so, if you couldn't tell, your mind and your heart love intensity. And sometimes your life mission is like, this is the mindset you need to have about it, like step by step ferociously. And a lot of people, I don't know if there's anybody watching the stream right now, but like, let's say there is. Like that might have like piqued your interest. Like that you might have like felt something there where it's like, ooh, I like that. Step by step ferociously. Like just having this mindset of like, I'm not going to let anything get in my way. And sometimes that's what we want. Sometimes we want permission to like, your friend calls you and it's like, no, I'm not talking to you right now. Like I'm working, you know? And like, we have like all these social rules where it's like, oh, you can't do that. You can't do that. Like you can obviously be nice about it, but like create these boundaries in your life, like with people where it's like, I very strongly, intensely feel this way right now. I must align with it. And then we can hang out when that's not happening. You know what I mean? And like this mindset as well is another great way of dealing with the resistance because this like be hardcore and like step by step ferociously. If this is like becomes like a part of who you are, this is your identity, then you are naturally going to become the person who has like a vendetta against resistance. And when you have a vendetta against resistance, you get really good at slaying it. And when you slay resistance, like every time you slay resistance, it gets easier. Like he basically, and resistance is tied to your identity. Like the way that resistance works is it's basically just false beliefs. And it's like a lying part of your identity. It's completely and utterly, entirely made up of lies. Like, oh, I can't do that right now because XYZ. And it's an excuse. Like any excuse is resistance. And so when you have this mindset and personality of just like being aware of what you really want and like slaying resistance continually, constantly, every time you slay resistance, it's like once you do it once, social anxiety is a really good example. Like if you have social anxiety, you have resistance or it's like a bad feeling or like a belief or something that's like holding you back from talking to other people. But then if you actually go and talk to other people, you realize like, oh, this isn't that bad. You might have been like really scared and anxious at first, but then it's like, oh, it's not that bad. And that's like the first time. And then you do that like 2, 3 more times. And all of a sudden it's like the resistance is literally just gone. Like it's not there anymore. Like, that's how resistance works. You slay it once, twice, 3 times, and then it's just kind of gone. And it might come back. It might come back, but at least for a little while, it's just gone. And so it's always just so optimal. Like, you are in a war with resistance, and resistance is just lies. And the way that you beat resistance is just by becoming more aware, waking up the ACC, evaluating the cost. Like, okay, what is resistance telling me right now? Like, what's the trade deal that resistance is giving me right now? Oh, I don't get what I want, and in return, I get to, I'm going to use YouTube Shorts as an example. So you're telling me I don't get closer to what I want, and on top of that, I get to, like, numb my mind and, like, actually regress and move backwards from my goal and screw up my entire dopamine system and feel worse. Like, actually, like, this is part of probably why you're depressed and anxious. And on top of that, I'm gonna, like, lose, like, hours and hours of my life and then, like, feel like crap later because I did this when I shouldn't have done it. So, literally my deepest desire in exchange for that. It's like, what the hell? No, I'm not doing that. But it's like you have to become more aware to know that that's what's going on. And when you know that that's what's going on, it's like the CEO is like, bro, are you crazy? I'm not doing that. Like, we're not scrolling on shorts. Just, like, get untrapped, turn them off completely. Like, we're not doing shorts ever again. That's a really good extension, by the way, Untrap for YouTube. It's highly customizable. You can turn off suggestions of all kinds. You can turn off shorts. You can grayscale videos. Like, you can do a lot. It's highly configurable. So you can actually make it, like, as casual or hardcore as you want. Really highly suggest it. Oh, you can even theme stuff with it. It's cool. But yeah, focus is king. Focus is security. Live in tandem with your heart. Super schedule. Slay resistance. Embrace your masculinity and just, like, do stuff intensely. Work hard, rest hard, play hard. That's it. I think that's a wrap. Any questions? Comments? Concerns?
No, that was really good.
Awesome. So, what I will do, I guess I'll ask you, because we can do this 2 ways. I can either leave the stream on and we can talk about it, or I can turn the stream off and we can segue into, what is it? Like, talking about your productivity personally. Which, let me check the chat. There might be people watching. There's nobody watching. Okay. So, I guess there's one viewer. So yeah, we can either, if you want, I can turn off the stream for that. Just let me know.
Yeah, I would say I'm cool with that.
Okay, so we can leave the stream on then?
Or, like, I'm saying turn it off and then we can talk.
All right, cool. All right, peace out, YouTube.